Hello, my name is Jason Rayner. On January 26, 2019, I had a presentation in downtown Detroit titled "You Are Not Your Trauma." The following video is a synopsis of my presentation. Thank you. My full-time job, I'm a parole officer. And a lot of times what I see, whether it's with police officers or even other parole officers, is that they're just impatient or they just don't have the skills to deal with someone who may have a mental disorder, or even if they're intoxicated, they just don't handle that person the right way, okay? And so I know when I train for the department, I try to tell people, listen, first you have to give verbal cues. We can't just shoot first and ask questions later. We can't just spray. I'm sure you guys have seen those videos where it seemed like the officer didn't do a lot of talking and just want to get the situation done and over with. But your most powerful weapon are your verbal skills, your interpersonal communication skills. And so that's really what I want to get out to a lot of people. Ensuring a safe environment at home, in schools, and the workplace. How many times at school someone just labeled that kid as weird? His third tour in Afghanistan and was looking to go back for some more action, is what he called it. And we were out downtown Bowling Green, everything seemed all right, until a group of foreign exchange students started walking towards us. They were obviously drunk, they were dancing, singing in Arabic. And so what I noticed was, Daniel was his name. Daniel all of a sudden became real tense. And I noticed that my other friend didn't, but Daniel became tense and he zoned in on this group of students. And so Daniel walked over in their pathway to intentionally bump one of them. And so he bumped one. They said, "What the heck," right? Got upset. A whole confrontation happened. My friend pulled Daniel off. I said, "Hey, listen, he's just really drunk. Calm down." All of a sudden, Daniel pushes his friend off, pushes me out the way and says, "I probably killed your daddy in Afghanistan. I probably killed your mama. And I probably killed your cousin," right? So what happened with Daniel? Because Daniel went overseas because of what happened on 9/11. That's the first thing he wanted to do. He didn't understand why, just like most of us didn't understand why someone would do this to our country. And so he wanted to go over and fight overseas. And when I asked my other friend, how was Daniel before he was deployed? He was real friendly, easy to get along with. I mean, he's just a guy, a very likable guy. But once he went overseas and had a partner die, he had 4 confirmed kills, was there during IED explosions, he just became an entirely different person. The alcohol didn't make things any better, but that rage just came out, and the alcohol was the catalyst in that situation that made him lash out. Gone, just like that. I can remember this day. Does anyone remember where they were?
Yeah.
Okay, want to share where you were that day?
In English class.
Oh, sleep.
At home.
At home.
I was at the hair salon.
I was in 5th grade. I was in 7th grade in the computer class.
I was in my office.
You're in your office. Okay. Working?
At home.
At home? Okay. So some people, I'm not sure how it was in your cities when 9/11 happened, but when I was in Brooklyn, New York, and we heard the first plane hit, it was almost as if it was a joke. Like we just thought that it was a drunk pilot who just completely missed JFK or LaGuardia. And so they rushed us all downstairs and we were in the basement, and we were joking, saying, "I can't believe somebody missed the dang, airport. Are you kidding me?" But then the noise that we heard from the first plane happened again. And then the second plane hit. And even at 10 years old, I knew 2 dummies in a row can't miss the airport. Something's wrong here, right? And so for the rest of that week, I loaded my brain on information that was given by the local news stations. Terrorists may be in your backyard. Here goes the areas of Brooklyn where there's a lot of, these people migrated to. They talked about Osama bin Laden, who I never heard about. They started showing what the Taliban or Al-Qaeda at the time looked like. And so at 10 years old, I loaded up on all this information, and I immediately thought that they were the enemy. And so anyone who wore a hijab or an abaya or anything like that, I thought that they possibly had something to do with 9/11 or the next attack that would happen. I can't even see someone, a Middle Eastern person with a backpack, because I thought there was a bomb in there. Everything would just zone out, and I just heard tick, 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 right? Any single time I heard someone speaking Arabic, I just really want to know what they were talking about. Like, what are you guys talking about? Are you trying to kill us? If I was on the 4 train heading to my grandmother's house and I saw them, I tried my hardest to go at least 2 train cars down, thinking that the explosion just wouldn't hit me as bad, which obviously is not accurate. But just the little things I did to escape. I also looked at the other New Yorkers and how they acted towards people. And at JFK, we would go to Florida and looking at how security was patting them down a lot extra than everybody else. Or if they had that robe on, that they would say, well, what's under there? I gotta see what's going on under there. It was really tense, really, really tense for a long time. And another factor was that my mother worked on the 89th floor up until 1999. And so these were my favorite buildings growing up as a child. And so I would get my Batman toys from the basement. I remember we would go all the way up to 89th floor, and I would run out of the elevator, look out the window, and just be absolutely, it was just a stunning view from her window to see the rest of the taxi cabs that got so small, the people that you can barely identify. I loved everything about those buildings. If you were in Brooklyn and you didn't know which direction Manhattan was, you just looked up because they were there. And so that was taken away from me. So as a child, those were my favorite things to look at. And it was gone just like that. And so it took me 10 years to get over that. When I spoke to Ahmed in Bowling Green when I was in my senior year of college, and Ahmed shared with me that he hated Al-Qaeda just as much as any American. So why am I suffering from other people as if I'm one of them? Like, I probably hate Al-Qaeda more than you guys. I think Al-Qaeda destroyed the face of my people. He was from Saudi Arabia. He's like, now I speak Arabic, and now all of a sudden I'm a terrorist. This really sucks. And so that's what made me understand that I can't just judge a whole group of people just because of one event. It just doesn't make any sense. And so I started to analyze my own ignorances and started to realize that, you know what, this I can't be like this anymore. And that's when that incident with Daniel happened afterwards, when I saw how he reacted. And I got called racial slurs in Bowling Green for the first time, seeing Confederate flags. The only time I ever saw a Confederate flag was in the textbooks. I thought the KKK were like dinosaurs. And I come to Ohio, and sure enough, they're alive and well. They don't have to be wearing hoods, right? And so, just think about this. A lot of people, they're telling you something's wrong without telling you that something's wrong. You understand what I mean by that? They're telling you. I think about an incident on the train when there was this guy who looked like he was a stockbroker off Wall Street, and another girl was in real hippie attire, and she had all these bags, and he said, would you like to sit down? That was normal on the train. If you see a lady, you just say, would you like to sit down? And then she said, oh, you think because I'm a woman, I need a seat? Who you think you are? What the heck is wrong with you? You gonna act, I can't stand up? I'm a woman, what's wrong with you? Now at the time, I thought she was bananas. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with her? This woman's crazy. But think about what she possibly could have gone through prior. You never know what she could have gone through prior. Maybe she was subjected to only doing certain things when she was younger because whoever was with her viewed her as just this lower object. So no, you can only do this. I'm gonna limit you to this because I'm gonna handle everything because I'm the man. And so now she gets up, she gets older, and she's in this situation that seems so innocent, but it bothered her so much. And again, at the time I thought she was crazy. So look at these things. Identify these little situations. When you're on the street, if you see somebody just, doing something that you would consider crazy, or even at work, if someone gets real upset with you, or just a family member, right? Just think about things that they may have gone through, and you may approach the situation a lot better. Okay? So things to say. and things not to say. So as we go across, it's the equivalent of what you should say and what you should not say. Tell me what's going on. What's wrong with you? You understand the difference in tone? Is there anything I can do to help? I don't know what to tell you. I'm here when you're ready to talk. You need to talk to somebody. It's okay, we will get through this together. Well, you're on your own, buddy. Think back now. Think back to times where you could have been helpful in a certain situation, but you just did not know what to do. You could have been the key to helping that person. One incident that I'll share, and I know we have youngins in the room, so I won't actually throw the word out. A sex offender that I was supervising, he was very upset one day because he couldn't get to see his child. And I explained to him, well, you're on parole for a sex offense, and so you can't just up and go see your child. You need to get permission from me first, and then we'll go from there. He decided to drop the N-bomb, and I said, okay, he got the wrong one now. So you finna come down to his office in the next hour, and we finna talk, whether it's with mouth or with hands, right? And so he was on his way, and I'm sitting there in the office thinking, how can I hurt this man justifiably? Right? I'm just getting so angry and worked up. But what was interesting was this was only a week after I had become certified with Samson Gaines as a trauma instructor. And so I sat back and thought to myself, okay, let's think about this. This is a guy where if you told him good morning too early, he'd want to punch you in the face. This is a guy where when he wakes up, he's angry. Up to when he goes to sleep, he's angry. I've never met anyone in my life who was just that angry, and you probably know some people like that. Why are you so angry? And so he comes into my office, and my supervisor gave me permission to arrest him if I wanted to. But I said, nah, I think I got this. So I called him back, and we walk back to the office. I sit him down, and I say, you know, from sun up to sundown, you are such an angry person. There is something you are not telling me, and I want you to know that I'm here to listen. Tears started flowing. I mean, this is a guy who was real tough, who would, you know what I mean, who would fight first, and to see these tears flowing, I knew it was overdue. And this is the first time I ever talked to someone who dropped a racial slur on me and dealt with them so professionally. So I felt good, and he felt good. And so now he's with a different parole officer. Whenever he sees me, we give each other a pound. We worked on his finances together. He's finally saving money. And I didn't let that get between my job and my role of successfully rehabilitating these guys, because that's my focus. I started the job wanting to arrest people, but I realized I enjoy helping people a lot more than arresting them. And so just a moment like that made me realize this stuff works. Thank you for taking the time to watch my presentation. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really look forward to being part of your team. Thank you.